Hello everyone, welcome back. In this episode of Bitcoin Trade, it looks like we got our first, um, let me see, Florida targets high dollar Bitcoin exchangers. And so, okay. So, I was looking at this, I saw the headlines and I was wondering what was it? And, what's the details of this? So, you can all read this, go look it up, but since you're watching, here it is. This is the uh, if you all have any localbitcoins.com accounts or anything, you do anything like that, this was the seller. Um, I've seen that name does look familiar because the number of trades this person has is a lot. And apparently the person also had a lot of bitcoins on him as well. And according to the report, let me see here. And it looks like they're really going to throw the book at people who are engaged in possible criminal activity. Um, so here's how it goes. Basically, um, there was a apparent undercover agent, unknown and unnamed, of course, but apparently they arranged a face-to-face meeting exchange, and basically, let me see here. I guess the price was, the investor could say, an almost 17% conversion fee. So I guess it was a high conversion fee. I guess that's what they're saying. And then also, let me see here. There was a mention that, let me see, that the undercover officer told Mr. Michael Hack, which turns out to be Michael and Abner Espinoza of Miami Beach. Basically, that I think the undercover officer was going to buy the bitcoins to buy stolen credit cards. So let me see here if I could find that. Okay, so here it is. So according to court documents, the agent told Michael Hack, which is the username, right, that he wanted to use bitcoins to purchase stolen credit cards online. After that trust building transaction, Michael Hack allegedly agreed to handle a much larger deal, converting $30,000 in cash into Bitcoin. So that act alone, supposedly, that's what the court documents mention, according to this report, that so basically automatically just by doing that, um, facilitating a criminal act with your money is essentially money laundering. And then on top of that, there are actually laws in Florida, and they're very stringent. You got to remember. I'll just scroll up here to the article, and I don't know who wrote it. It doesn't say. I don't see any name on there, but that's. I was trying to get to the details, like what was the cause and everything. Let me see what this thing says. Russia bans. Oh, sorry, I'm on some other things. I want to talk about this specifically, and then CoinDesk also has it, but not too much detail, because all it says was it doesn't say how they caught the guy, what they caught the guy for, but what they're charging the guy for is not being a licensed money business service, or not being a money service business or something like that. And so, Florida has always, well, I'll put it this way. When I was growing up, not that I ever went to Florida, but the only thing I remember of Florida when I was growing up, when I was a kid, was through Miami Vice, that TV show with, oh my gosh, well, those actors, they were really popular at the time. I forgot their name. But that's the only memory I have of Florida, was a TV show called Miami Vice. And the only thing I got out of that show was Miami was just a cocaine crazed city, and the state of Florida was nothing but a haven for drug dealers. Um, and this kind of stuff went on in America, and that's the memory I have growing up as a kid about Florida. And apparently there was something to it as I grew up older and older, and I learned more about the history of Florida as far as when it came to um, all the drugs and everything that goes through there. So I guess they have a very stringent monetary policies there to keep the flow of to regulate the flow of money. And so also there's also a lot of fraud in Florida as well. On top of that, a lot of, I guess, senior citizens out there, and people are going around frauding, the poor senior citizens. So, well, good for Florida for taking that on. Hold on here. Let me come back. Okay, so I'm back here, and so I try to find. There is this. Let me see here. Where is it? Okay, so there is this statue right here, and let's take a look at it. Let's see. Florida is very stringent. So basically, if you want to deal in bitcoins in Florida, you have to become a money service business, I think, as they call it. So let's take a look at it. So here it is under what the hell was it? Okay, well, let's take a look at the exemptions first of all. What it is here. Okay, so basically, uh, money service business. Okay, so you got to be a money service business, a licensed money service business, um, in order to, I guess, sell bitcoins here on, for a large amount. And that's if they even license this to you. But let's take a look here. So who's exempt from all this? Um, let's take a look here. Okay, so definitions. These are all the definitions. Some of them actually make sense on what they really are. Okay, and so here are the exemptions here. So there's the exemptions. So who's exempt from all this? Well, banks are, because they're already regulated. Credit card banks, they're also regulated. Credit unions, trust companies, associations, Office of an International Banking Corporation, and financial depository institution organized under the laws of any state or the United States. The United States or any agency or instrumentality thereof, the state or any political subdivision of the state. Okay, so those are exempt from all this for the license of money service business. Gosh, this is staying on top of all this is just interesting. I mean, it just, what are they? Money service business. Okay, money service business. So let's see, where is, okay, so there's the exemptions, and then let's go to the penalties, and let's take a look at so we all established what money laundering is. Money laundering is basically profiting from a criminal act. So I guess when the undercover officer told him that he's going to buy, now I don't know how true this is, but we just have to assume that there was a mention of doing an illicit activity, and he actually encouraged the guy that he would do more. So I can see why this guy would be prosecuted and charged with this thing. But let's find out what laws they did to get him. Okay, I think here it is. I think that's it right here. 560 123, I think. Let's see here. Where was it? Oh, okay, statute 560 125. Okay, so I overshot it a little. So it needs to go down a little bit more. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, there it is. That's right. It's under unlicensed activity and penalties. A person may not engage in the business of money service business or deferred, what is that? Presentment provider in the state unless the person is licensed or exempt from licensure under this chapter, which would be the banks, the current banking system for the most part. So if you're licensed or exempt from that, which would be your current bank, current bank, you don't have to be licensed, but basically a person. So, as a matter of fact, any person. And here it is, it says any person whose substantial interests are affected by the proceedings brought by the office pursuant, let me see, so basically all this is saying is basically any person, anybody for the most part, except for whoever's licensed and exempt. So I guess you can still, I don't know what it takes to get a license, but you have to be licensed, okay. And on top of that, let me see, under here, 5, a person who violates this section, if the violation involves, and then at A through C, and this is where they're getting the charges here, currency or payment instrument. So basically what they're saying is the currency, what they're talking about here, from what I'm reading, I'm not a lawyer, okay, but I can read, and I can definitely look up words. So I hope, maybe the problem is criminals don't know how to read. I don't know, but anyways, I'm reading it, and I have an understanding here. These are the laws right now, okay. And so let me see. When they talk about currency, they're obviously talking about, well, this was done in Florida. They're talking about legal tender, which is the U.S. dollar, and then or payment instrument exceeding 300 dollars. So this is kind of interesting. So if they are charged for this, what this means for Bitcoin is Bitcoin may not be a currency, or it could be argued that it's currency, but most importantly, it's they're gonna most likely acknowledge Bitcoin as payment instrument. All right, Bitcoin is a payment instrument, is what they're saying here. So that's the key thing, is what they're looking at. So this does one or two things. I mean, obviously, I'm glad they got this guy, because I don't want this guy selling Bitcoins for someone to buy credit cards that were stolen from Target. I actually got a letter, I believe from, I think, one of the companies that got compromised. So, like I said, regulators cannot protect your identity. Okay, no matter how hard they try, there's just too many cyber crimes going on, and unfortunately, the law enforcement, although I would think they would, with all the technology they had, with all the you know funding. I mean, maybe the NSA can share some of their secrets to to local authorities, but cybercrime. This is the new crime of the future. I guess you can say it's better than, armed robbery, but at the same time, the ease of this is becoming so much easier. Um, but anyways, here are the other crimes here. So anybody who's exchanging a payment instrument for a currency is subject to being an unlicensed money service business, if I said that correctly. And look what the charges are. Uh, Commits a felony of the third degree, punishable as provided in here. And these are just some punishments that they're talking about. What would be the crime and all that. And Florida is really tough, really stringent. You can still sell bitcoins, but you just have to be a licensed money service business. Money MSB, money service business. Yeah. So wow, I am learning a lot here. There are some more, and as you notice, they all say currency or payment instrument, and then they give you the total amount of what it could do. I mean, this one in itself exceeding 300 but less than 20,000 in any 12-month period. Well, that's just about anything, isn't it? So now you notice it doesn't say currency and or product, currency and or goods. It specifically says currency or payment instrument. So there you go. I guess Mr. Espinoza can try to make a case that his currency is not a payment instrument. I think that would be hard. But most importantly, forget Mr. Espinoza. Who cares about him? He could defend himself. But more importantly, this Florida is acknowledging Bitcoin as a payment instrument. So that's, at least they are acknowledging Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies as payment instruments. So does that mean something? It kind of does. It's one step closer to recognizing Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies as financial instruments and financial payments or whatever. So it's a step closer. It's in if they're acknowledging that it's a payment instrument. I'm assuming they're probably not acknowledging it as a currency. So anyways, so there you go. And then if you all want to do the research, I mean, go ahead. If you want to see what the crimes entail, there's the numbers. It's all here for you guys to see. Paid for the taxpayers probably of Florida. So that's it right there. Well, looks like doing business in Florida is going to be darn near impossible with Bitcoin. So I would probably stay away from Florida. Anyways, that's the news update here. I just want to share that one in particular. Might as well just go ahead to a chart. Let's take a look. I know it's gotten really ugly. Okay, so let's take a look at the chart analysis here. So it's hit down here. It's been playing around in here, but at least it's been maintaining this support line now. And when I look at this, it looks like a really good parallel up channel right here. So what you're going to see is you're just going to see a lot of bouncing around in here, and it's a bigger triangle. It really is. But another way I'm looking at this trade is, and this is Mt. Gox, okay? I know people are really freaking out about whether they're going to still be solvent or not. So, but I'll do a chart analysis for all the charts. And I don't know if Mt. Gox is just the price fall in Mt. Gox is exclusive to Mt. Gox. But if I take a look at the triangles, right? If I take a look at the resistance and supporting in this triangle here, if you look at the price now, okay, if you look at the price now, And if you look at where these two triangles are converging together, um, I would say it's a really good time to buy, because it looks like it's at a 400, I'm sorry, $800 as where it's probably the medium where it's going to bounce. I'm hoping that it's going to bounce up here. It's going to bounce back and forth and everything. So this price here, that's not a bad price, not a bad price at all. You know, there's obviously panic selling. And if you look at the price, look at that. Arbitrage is gone now. Or, well, there still is. Now Bitsy is the higher price. Mt. Gox is the lowest price. And Bitstamp is in the middle. So what just happened? It just inverted. And inverted, when there's a down, when there's a fall. Especially on Mt. Gox. So, you know, take advantage of it if you can, or if you want to. And there's, you know, there it is. So let's take a look at some of the other charts and see if this is just something unique to Mt. Gox, because it did the same thing here and it did the same thing here, where I saw the prices of the different indices invert. And usually Mt. Gox was high, and then Bitsy is the lowest. Now Bitsy is the highest, and Mt. Gox is the lowest. And so, I don't know. Only time will tell. That's all I can say. Only time will tell. But we'll go into the other charts here real quick. And this is Bitstamp, okay. And Bitstamp, although it did fall down here initially, never reached the support of this. But if I take a look at maybe the halfway point, and you have to excuse me, I'm trying to look at this while I'm doing that. I would say maybe halfway around here, 710. So when you look at this, the Bitstamp is already almost at its mid-range. It's already fallen down and come back to the mid-range, and probably where the price is. It may, you know, again bounce up and down here. So it's almost, as far as value, in my opinion, value-wise, there's no value in Bitstamp. If you're already in Bitstamp, you know, you didn't really lose or you didn't gain. So there's not much potential for me to make a trade here. And so there's only, you know, 12 bucks, $22 difference in the price range. So this would not be a good value trade, in my opinion. But it doesn't mean you know, you don't have to trade there. But seeing how the Bitcoin's kind of still frozen over at Mt. Gox, I might have to trade here. But I just want to let people know, this is my opinion, that there's no value here that I see. All right, compared to what I showed you at the Mt. Gox chart. But let's go to Bitsy. Now, so Bitsy never hit this hard resistant line, but it did hit the support line here. Exactly. I mean, I just put up to well, I showed you before, but look at it. Look how it's reacting, and it's a really good support, but it's still low. So remember I told you it never went up high. So when I look at these two lines, I want to do something like this, somewhere like that, which happens to be pretty darn close to this top line. So there's some money here, there's some value here, and if Bitsy's still operating and still sending out, you're able to withdraw Bitcoins and everything, there's some good value. And a matter of fact, not only that, because it never hit this high, and the drop was just half. So the thing is, Mt. Gox was already up here and the drop seemed dramatic. Bitsy was already halfway down and it just dropped halfway. So from what I'm seeing, I mean, it's that's kind of what's going on. but there's really good value here in Bitsy, and I might have to get some more Bitcoins and put more money into Bitsy to see, because look, here's the price down here. Look at the potential before it has a hard resistant line coming up here. So 7, 8, 9. There's a $200 potential here, versus, let's look at, with this is only being a possibility 100 and something, 100 and, well, let's take a look here. 130, maybe 130. Remember, as time goes on, this is going to go down and down and down. So I'll just say, sorry. I'll just say, 800. So it's really only has about $100 to really do anything, or I'll just say 130. And then you look at Mt. Gox, and if it ever does come back up, we'll have to find out. We'll have to see how this turns out. But if you look at Mt. Gox, if anybody still wants to trade over here, you're looking at let's just put it at 900 so I can count it easier. So 7, 1, 2, so more than 200. So there's more than 200 potential, halfway being just 100. That's not too bad. Let's look at Bitsy here real quick and figure out where the halfway point is for this. I would say about maybe 800. About 800, maybe a little bit below. I'm sorry, a little bit below 800 probably is the halfway, I would think. So there's still value in Bitsy, as well as hitting this hard resistance if it does bounce up and down, like I've been saying, into this triangle. So there you go. There's my take on the charts, and as far as Mt. Gox and their withdrawal issues, I just have to write it out. That's all I have to say. If it's real, if they're going bankrupt, then they're going bankrupt. If they're not, they're not. Who knows? In any case, looking at the charts, I mean, there's nothing unusual about Mt. Gox compared to the others. Who knows? But you have to remember, when you look at this, and look, I'll just pull back. Okay. You have to look at this, considering where it came from. Okay, this was, I think, about the time when they seized Silk Road. Okay, around this time frame. Look at this. Look at that. Are people really worried? Because this has been going on for almost, what year is this? Okay, there's 2013. So you got to think 2009. It came out 2009, 9. Let's see, 10, 11, 12, 13. So 4 years. Basically 4 years. People have been doing this, and now look at the exponential growth in what it's doing. And so it took 4 years for it to reach this much. And as the world deals with Bitcoin, however it deals with Bitcoin, I mean, regulated, unregulated, whatever, banned. I think just more and more people are gonna just, no one's forcing anybody to use Bitcoin. There's no law requiring anybody to use Bitcoin. This was all voluntary. Albeit maybe rampant with maybe criminals and fraud and all that, but when it got to here, well, this was no longer for criminals. This was no longer for fraudsters and scammers. This has now become real and legitimate, and governments are taking notice. So anyways, So let's take a look at the back. I mean, 4 years until it gets here, and then it drops. When you look at what it was, and I mean even down here, you got to say to yourself like, you think anybody's sweating? If anything, that maybe this is just a good way to get all the criminals out of Bitcoin here, but who knows? Who knows? So I'll end it off with that, and there's Mount Gox if anybody wants to see it. Probably nobody really wants to see it, but I love seeing this because it gives me an opportunity, and I have taken advantage of prices down here. Um, you know, and if it keeps on going down, I'll just keep buying in. I mean, there this is for someone who is very long in Bitcoin. I've been waiting for this, really. I mean, I just couldn't. It would kill me to buy things at this price, really. But as the price goes down, I mean, I'm just like, wow, I can afford Bitcoin now and buy into it. And then, really, why would anybody want to sell your Bitcoins? I don't know. The reason I sell and buy is, like I said, I'm buying low, selling high, buying low, selling high. And what's great about this is that you can perform arbitrage. I mean, matter of fact, let me see here. This article specifically says that this guy was performing arbitrage. He was selling at a high price and a low price. By the way, the fact that you can profit from currency if you're buying and selling currency or instrument of payment, a payment instrument, just the fact that you're profiting that, you are basically violating the money service business, uh, because just that act alone requires you to be a money service business, and if you're not licensed, yeah, you're gonna they may throw the book at you. They're really throwing the books at Bitcoin users here, investors, users, miners. Um, so there you go. I, I would not conduct any business in Florida. Of course, they have their laws in place for a reason, and I would suspect it has to do with crime, specifically drug related. So, and they even brought the Secret Service in there, U.S. Secret Service. So, all right, yeah, it's good to see that they're doing something out there. Anyways, this concludes this episode. I'll just leave it off with this here. Um, I hope this helps a lot of the Bitcoin users out there who are in Florida. So, anyways, please comment, like, dislike, or even do a video response. Until next time, stay tuned. Bye now.